Imagine being able to buy whatever you want, right now, without having to actually spend your own money immediately. No cash required, no waiting around for your next paycheck. It's just pure, instant gratification. You buy the item, you swipe a card, and you walk away. Sounds absolutely amazing, right? Well, today in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly why credit cards feel like free money. Just swipe and walk away. It feels incredible in the moment, for sure, but we have to contrast that feeling with a pretty dark reality. Because this tiny little piece of plastic has literally trapped millions of Americans in a never-ending cycle of debt, all while making banks billions of dollars every single year. And a bit later in this explainer, I'm going to reveal a secret trick that credit card companies use to quietly keep people paying them for years. Trust me, you will never look at your credit cards the same way again once you see the actual math behind it all. Okay, so let's dive into this with Coach Kobo, who is going to help us break all of this down. We're going to reveal exactly how these companies keep people paying for years and years, and more importantly, how you can avoid getting trapped yourself. If you enjoy simple, highly structured finance explainers like this, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to The Explainer. All right, let's get right into the mechanics.
What a credit card actually is. It's really crucial to understand the foundation before we look at the traps. At its core, a credit card is just borrowed money. When you swipe a card at the store or you type those numbers in online, the bank pays first, not you. Then, later down the line, you have to pay the bank back. Because the bank covers the cost up front, you don't actually see your own money leave your checking account right away. And that delayed reality, that's exactly why it feels like free money. You get the item instantly, without feeling the immediate financial consequence.
And this brings us to a massive psychological difference between cash and credit. There's this behavioral concept known as the pain of paying. Think about it. When you hand over physical cash, you physically see and feel your hard-earned money disappearing. It hurts a little bit. But with digital cards, the spending feels completely frictionless. In fact, studies show that people often spend significantly more money using cards than cash, simply because that pain of paying feels so much weaker when it's just a quick digital swipe.
Moving on to part 2, why banks love credit cards.
Let's look at this entirely from the banking perspective for a second. You might think banks want you to be perfectly responsible, but they actually want you to carry balances. Why? Because of this number right here, 20 to 30%. Carrying a balance is where banks make their really serious money. Every single time someone carries an unpaid debt month to month, interest starts growing. And credit card interest rates in America can easily reach 20, 25, or even 30%. That is how small, everyday purchases quietly mutate into massive, overwhelming debt. And what I'm about to explain next is exactly where so many well-meaning people get trapped.
Part 3, the minimum payment trap.
Remember that secret trick I promised to reveal earlier? Well, this is it. You get your bill in the mail or in your inbox, and the bank highlights what seems like a super helpful, totally harmless option. They say, hey, just pay this $25 minimum payment this month. It sounds perfectly manageable, doesn't it? It gives you this illusion that you are handling your debt and staying in the bank's good graces.
But here is the brutal math on that. While you are paying those small $25 amounts, the interest keeps rapidly growing on the entire remaining balance. Compounding interest ensures that your actual debt shrinks very, very slowly. Honestly, people sometimes spend years paying off small purchases they completely forgot they even bought. That's exactly why minimum payments benefit the banks far, far more than the customers. It keeps you on the hook, just passively paying them interest for years.
Part 4, how cards change your brain.
See, it isn't just about the mathematical traps. Credit cards emotionally alter human spending behavior on a really deep psychological level. We can call this the credit effect. Because the spending feels so completely painless, people frequently overspend. They impulse buy things they don't actually need, they finance entire lifestyles they can't afford, and they intentionally ignore how quickly their balances are piling up. And the consequences of this are massive. It's the exact reason why some people can look incredibly rich online, flaunting their shopping and travel, while secretly drowning in debt behind the scenes.
Okay, let's look at part 5, understanding your credit score.
It's definitely not all negative. Credit cards are not inherently evil, and they can actually help you financially, provided they're used correctly. A credit score is basically a number showing how trustworthy you are with borrowed money. In America, your credit behavior completely dictates this score. It's essentially your entire financial reputation packaged into a single 3-digit number. And having a good score unlocks massive financial benefits. Good credit allows you to buy homes, finance cars, secure lower interest rates, and qualify for loans so much easier. So again, the cards themselves aren't the enemy here. The real problem is the misuse. Which brings up a really fascinating question. Why do some wealthy people absolutely love using credit cards, while others get completely financially destroyed by them?
Part 6. How the wealthy use credit. Let's look at the exact strategies financially disciplined people use to master the credit system. They use credit cards very differently. Instead of carrying debt, they follow a very specific formula. Step 1, they pay their balances fully every single month. Step 2, by doing that, they completely avoid paying any interest at all. Step 3, they collect all the rewards, the cash back, and the travel points. And Step 4, they actively build a strong credit history. Essentially, they use the system without letting the system use them. And that is a massive, life-changing difference. Credit cards can either build financial flexibility or they can quietly destroy your financial stability.
Finally, Part 7. The real danger. We've looked at the mechanics and the psychology, but we need to issue an ultimate warning here about normalized consumer debt. The real danger isn't the card itself. It's when debt becomes normal. Because once that interest starts compounding, escaping that debt becomes harder and harder. That is exactly why so many Americans today struggle with extreme financial stress, just living paycheck to paycheck. What started as a harmless thought of, oh, whatever, I'll just pay it later, quietly morphed into years of stressful payments. You absolutely must remember, just because something feels like free money doesn't mean it actually is.
So, I want to leave you with a final provocative question to think about. Do you think credit cards help people more, or do they hurt people more? They are undoubtedly powerful financial tools. Used wisely, they build incredible financial flexibility. Used carelessly, they quietly destroy wealth. Really think about your own habits and how this whole system is designed to work. If you found this explainer helpful, hit that like button and subscribe to the explainer for more clear, structured knowledge about money, credit, and wealth. Thanks for learning with me today, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.